What's up out there, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. Hope everybody's doing well out there on this Monday. I'm doing real good myself. Got some more news on this vaccine. Okay, and this is very, very interesting news, and basically, it's another red flag not to take this vaccine. Okay, and it goes to say here, 4 trial volunteers who got Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine developed Bell's palsy, but FDA denies that the temporary facial paralysis was caused by the shot. Now, they don't take much common sense to know if you wasn't suffering with something, ailment or whatever before you took a shot, then more than likely that shot caused, the problem. That's basically the way, I see it. Okay. But of course, they're going to try to cover their tracks. Let's get into this story right here. It says here 4 people got Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine, and the firm's trial developed Bell's palsy, a form of temporary facial paralysis, according to U.S. regulations report on the shot. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA regulator, said there wasn't any clear way that the vaccine caused Bell's palsy, but warned that doctors should watch for the alarming side effects, and Pfizer should continue to keep tab on how many people it strikes. No one knows what exactly causes Bell's palsy, which resolves on its own most of the time. All right. More than likely, it's something in the shot that caused the facial paralysis. Okay, Bell's palsy. Now to continue here, this isn't the first time it's been linked to vaccines. The scientists have ultimately ruled that shots did not trigger Bell's palsy in all but one case, a Swiss flu vaccine. That was sold during the 2001 to 2002 flu season. They're then promptly took off the market. Okay, they promptly took it off the market because they claimed, that flu vaccine, it did cause Bell's palsy, facial paralysis and shit. Twist your face up. Okay, this is ridiculous, man. To continue, so far the FDA said that the number of Bell palsy causes seen in the Pfizer vaccine trial was consistent with the background frequency of reported Bell's palsy in the vaccine group that is consistent with the expected background rate in the general population. And there is no clear basis upon which to conclude a causal relationship at this time, but we'll keep a close watch on future cases. Trial and error. They injecting these people who's stupid enough to take this vaccine, when obviously a lot of them are not suffering with any symptoms whatsoever of this so-called COVID-19. And they believe in that shit. Well, if it ain't broke, we still need to fix it. But after you fix it, it's going to be broke. Okay? This is crazy, man. This is ridiculous. All right? Now, let me see here. We already covered this right here. But here are the symptoms, okay, of Bell's palsy. As you can see, this little illustration right here, this cartoon or whatever. It says right here, Bell's palsy, number 1, swelling and inflammation of the nerve. Number 2, reaction that occurs after a viral infection. Now, before we go any further, I did a video, about Australia actually, scrapping, even making this vaccine because it had a fragment of HIV, which is a virus, okay, in itself. We know that's a virus, okay? So it says reaction that occurs after a viral infection. So in other words, more than likely, the virus that's in there, which is said to be HIV, causes this, right? Now, Here are more symptoms right here. It says loose of forehead and brow movements. Excuse me, not loose, but loss. Excuse me, loss of forehead and brow movement. Inability to close eyelid. All right. Drooping of the mouth right here, and then you got the mouth twisted and drooping and then slobbing. Okay. Over here, risk factors. It goes into upper respiratory infection, pregnant, diabetes, not enough time to rest, and then there's stress. You know, wow. Mm-mm-mm. And this is treatments they're talking about using for what was supposed to be a treatment for the coronavirus, corticosteroid steroids, antiviral drugs, artificial tears, plus vitamin B. Then you got your physical therapy, exercise facial muscles, or exercise facial muscles, you know. And surgery is I guess the last, thing that you would have to go if none of those other things worked, you know. And surgery could cause basically hearing loss. It says hearing loss are possible. All right. Woo. Stay away from this shot. Stay away from the needle. You know what I mean? See, with a lot of our people, you know what I mean? Descendants of the Hebrews were like, children. Know and understand that our salvation does not come in a needle. All right? And that's just what it is, okay? Now to continue, the 4 cases of Bell palsy were the only side effects that the FDA saw as imbalanced, with more occurring in the vaccine group than the placebo group and fewer than 0.5% of the trial participants had serious side effects. Among the 4 people who developed Bell's palsy, one saw facial paralysis or weakness within 3 days after they received the shot. But the participant's face returned to normal about 3 days after that. Well, let me just say, who in the hell wants to take that chance? Not anybody with some serious common sense. They wouldn't do that. Goes on to say here, the second person developed Bell's palsy 9 days after receiving the shot, and the other faces grew weak 37 and 48 days after vaccination, respectively. Each of those 3 recovered from the facial paralysis in 10 to 21 days. Bell's palsy comes on suddenly and looks alarmingly like a stroke. That's what I was thinking when I was reading that illustration up there. Stroke. Face twist up and shit, and you can't talk right and all that, man. But to continue, most sufferers notice that one side of their face starts to droop and the muscles grow weak. In rare cases, both sides of the face may become temporarily paralyzed. Some people also become more sensitive to sound, usually in the ear, corresponding with the side of the face that's drooping. Others lose their sense of taste, get headaches, or develop pain around the jaw or ear of the affected side of their heads. Bell's palsy is also known as acute peripheral facial palsy of unknown causes. Cause. As made plain by its name, doctors don't know exactly what causes it. Here we go with the lack of common sense. It can strike at any age and drag on for weeks, but almost always resolves on its own over weeks or months, so there aren't any particular treatments, okay? Each year, about 40,000 people in the U.S. develop Bell's palsy. But Put another way, about 1 in every 60 to 70 people will suddenly find their faces paralyzed at least once over the course of their lifetimes. Bullshit. Okay, let me add that. There are some patterns to who tends to get Bell's palsy. It's more common in pregnant women, especially during their third trimester or shortly after birth. People with diabetes are also more prone to Bell's. Having an upper respiratory infection like the cold or the flu is also a risk factor. As a respiratory infection, it's possible that COVID-19 itself could be a risk factor for Bell's palsy. Facial palsy was reported in 3 Brazilian COVID-19 patients, at least one person in China, a pregnant woman in Portugal, and in a number of the Indian patients. This is my first time even hearing about some Bell's palsy. I didn't even know that Bell's palsy comes along with potentially a cold or flu. This is bullshit. This is all bullshit, okay? And here goes some stats about the United States daily confirmed coronavirus has increased. Now to go on here, Bell's palsy is thought to happen when swelling and inflammation compress one or more facial nerves, causing patients to lose control of those muscles. Infections including flu, adenovirus, a common cause of the common cold, mono chickenpox or shingles, herpes virus, rubella, and hand, foot, and mouth disease. Ugh, golly, listen to all this shit. Have been linked to Bell's. Scientists think the inflammation these trigger can in turn cause the temporary paralysis. There have also been sporadic reports of people suspecting that inactive versions of some of these viruses used in vaccines to prevent them cause Bell's palsy. Okay, finally we got somebody with some sense, okay? In conclusion right here, it says here, enough concern has been expressed that scientists have conducted a number of studies to try to work out if these shots really could cause temporary palsy. Investigations of Bell's linked to vaccines for hepatitis B, D, TAP, and that's diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. Man, I'm telling you, these motherfuckers got so many names for all kinds of messed up ass diseases. It ain't funny. Okay, but to continue, herpes and several flu shots have all ultimately concluded the jab weren't the root cause of Bell's palsy. Before I go any further, if you didn't have Bell's palsy before you got the jab, like I said, more than likely the jab caused this shit. And that's all there is to it. Common sense, all right? We continue. The one exception was Brna Biotech's Nasoflu, all right? An inhaled flu vaccine made and sold in Switzerland. It was made with inactive flu virus and a form of E. coli, which is deadly to people. If your food, if you go and eat some stuff and it contained E. coli, you can get sick, die, and every damn thing. So they using diseases to cure disease, supposedly. All right, infect you with diseases. Man, come on, this ain't right. This is ridiculous. All right. But I digress. A bacterium commonly used to develop vaccines and pharmaceuticals. But the vaccine used a particular E. coli toxin that scientists think triggered inflammation and caused Bell's palsy in some recipients. Overall, Bell's is unpredictable and common enough that it's thus far doubtful that Pfizer's COVID-19 causes it, but the FDA scientists hinted that if the panel set to meet on Thursday green-lighted, Pfizer may be required to closely track data on whether more vaccine recipients developed the temporary facial paralysis. And here's right here a victim of the Bell's palsy, and more than likely, I bet you this woman took the vaccine. All right. Wow. You know, these are people that like to piss in your face and tell you, no, I'm not doing anything like that to you. I wouldn't do that. That's ridiculous. That's just not right. And they'll just tell you it's raining instead. All right. When you see clearly what the hell they're doing, you see? Who wants to be the guinea pig? You know, who step up? If that's what you want to do, that's on you. But me, myself, no. There will be no taking the vaccine. Like I said early on, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this story right here. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts and your views and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched. Simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.